everybody, welcome back to Cobra's Corner. I wanted to take a couple minutes today to talk to everybody about what I'm going to plant for my fall garden. I've had a lot of people ask me this question. Hopefully this table is not too shaky. I'm outside, wind's blowing a little bit, of course. I'm in Maryland. Anyway, I've had people ask me what I'm going to plant and how I know when to plant and what to plant for my fall garden. If you're not familiar with where I'm at, I'm on the eastern shore of Maryland. And we're in zone 7A, 7B. It depends on who you talk to. For those of you that aren't familiar with where we're at, we're on the eastern shore of Maryland. Zone 7A or 7B depends on what resource you look at. But it's pretty hot and humid here for the majority of the year. We get a long growing period. So I'm coming from Michigan, so this is like a learning curve for me. I'm still working on. So anyway, so I'm getting ready for my fall, to get my fall crop started. About mid-July, mid-August, depending on what I'm putting in, is when I will start putting those crops in. I have some of my broccoli and cabbage and cauliflower started already. I'm doing it in 3 stages. I have some that are actually, I didn't bring them out with me. I'm outside in my deck, that are, about 10 inches tall probably. And then I have others that are like this stage. I'm going to up pot these today, and then I'm going to plant a few more. I don't need a lot more of these. I'll see how many of them I can up pot, and then a few more to fill in there. But I'm going to start my beets and I can't remember what else I was gonna start today, but I thought I'd bring you along and show you how I do my seeds, how I start them. I don't have a big operation, as you can tell from the sounds and sights. If you're not familiar, we live in a subdivision. I have a small indoor greenhouse, but I don't use the greenhouse part of it. I just use the racks, and I have the lights that I just bought at Walmart. Nothing fancy. I also use things like this that I have bought over the years, that I've bought flowers with and stuff before I started doing a lot of my seeds myself, and I save them. I mean, they're not the fancy name brand stuff, but they work. And I also have these size containers that I save, and then I can up pot from these to those, and it doesn't cost me anything. It doesn't even cost me the money for the dirt, because I actually, every so often I have to buy dirt. I actually upcycle my potting soil too. Here, let me see if we can. So what I do is I take any seeds that I had started, and if they didn't germinate, I just empty those pots back into there and remediate that soil and use it again. So in the beginning it costs you money, and sometimes depending on how many seeds I'm planting, I might have to add to it, and how many of them that I have to up pot to these bigger sizes. So but anyway, so we'll get back to knowing what to start and when. It's going to be different in every area. Your extension website for your area, like there's usually a county or a state extension office that will help you to figure out what and when to plant. Like in Maryland, this is the one that we have. This is through the University of Maryland's extension office, and this is a really cool sheet. It has tells you what the crops are, the spring planting dates, the fall planting dates. This one's really neat because it tells you the feet of row per person. So like if you have 4 people in your house, for asparagus you need 20 feet per row per person. So you need an 80-foot row if you wanted it to last all year long. It tells the fall planting date too. I can't remember if I said that. It tells the feet, the length of the row, so like a 100-foot row. I don't do rows though. I have raised beds, so and you adapt it to whatever form of gardening you're doing. And I come out on the deck, there's nobody out here, and then all of a sudden every car in the city is going to drive by my neighborhood. Every time. It never fails. This is what you deal with. And I think all the kids are out now too. They're going to come down here too. So it's going to get loud. The dogs might bark. Hopefully we can get through this. So anyway, getting back, this tells like the depth to plant your plants. It tells the planting distances between your rows in inches, and the planting distances, oh my goodness, it's Monday, in the rows, so between each plant. And it has everything from, like, this has asparagus, you know, all the way through to like watermelon. So depending on what area you're in, and not all of them have spring and fall planting. If you can't plant them in the fall, then it'll tell you. Well, at least this one does for your area. But it's a really good resource to use. Just Google planting dates, I think is what I Googled. But Google is your friend. You can find a lot of stuff on there, or just your county extension office, you know, just Google that in whatever county you're living in, like Kent County, you know, just whatever one you're living in, just Google that, you know, and it should bring something up. If not for the county, it'll bring it up for the state. So anyway, so I'm going to get started doing some of this. I'm just going to run you through really quick how I do it. I'm not an expert. Everybody has their own way of potting their plants. Everybody has their own way of starting their seeds. Some people say you have to water all, you know, get it all wet before you transplant, like water all of your, wet down all of your soil. I'm going back to bed, guys. I don't. I put the seeds in, I put the dirt, the soil in, and then I put the seeds in the top, and then I go and water them afterwards. And I only water from the top when I plant my seeds. After that, my seeds are in trays like this, and then I always water from the bottom. That helps the roots to grow stronger, in my opinion. Not everybody is gonna have the same opinion though. So first I'm gonna plant my cauliflower that I had started. I think this was my second round, so it's been about 3 weeks, maybe 4. I'd have to look at my book. So all I do is I just take these little pots and I just scoop it a little, about halfway full, because there's some dirt in there already from the first go round, and just gently pull it out. And then I just kind of, if the roots are stuck together, I kind of break them up a little bit. If they're not, I just kind of, I'll kind of like dig a little hole. And I know there's some controversy about burying like cauliflower and broccoli deep, and you know, like you do a tomato. Some people are like, well, it won't make any difference. Some people are like, it makes the stem stronger. I actually do bury them deeper when I repot them. Okay, so here's what I ended up doing. Since I have so many that are still kind of younger, I think these are too small to be up potted to these bigger right now, for me anyway. Space wise too, it helps. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put in 2 more plants in here, because that'll give me like, I think that'll give me like a dozen cauliflower for fall, maybe a little bit more. I can't remember how many I have in there right now. Well, no, actually that will give me more, because I actually have 6 that I up-potted to these pots. So then 12. So I think it'll give me about 18 of the cauliflower. So I think that's enough. for the fall garden, because I had some in the spring garden too. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll just plant a couple seeds in here because they're gonna be pretty close to, you know, the same size as these guys when it comes time to put them out. You can hear the dogs barking because they're mad because I put them inside, but it is what it is. It's my sanity right now. For the cauliflower, for me, it says that I need to put my starts out July 1st to August 1st. So these will have about a month to germinate and to grow whatever size they're going to get to. This one will, you know, be even bigger, and these that I just up potted will be a good size, and the ones I have inside that I've already up potted a couple weeks ago will be even bigger. So I kind of did it that way so that I have them in stages and not have like all of these cauliflower at once to come in and have to preserve and stuff all at once. So on this, I forgot to mention earlier that on this sheet it also has a little asterisk. If there's an asterisk by the name of the crop, that means that it actually has to go out as a start. The rest of them can go as seed, like, so you can sow directly snap beans. You can sow them directly into the garden spice. So that's a nice added thing that they have on there too. So I've got my cauliflower done. Now I need to make sure that I can identify which is which, because as you all know, cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage all look relatively similar when they're younger. So what I have done is I've gotten these tags from Amazon, and I actually got the idea for those tags from Jess over at Roots and Refuge, and I've color coded mine, so like all of my cauliflowers are going to be pink. I mark all of my cauliflowers so I don't get them confused before I move them out of the way, because I'll get confused if I don't. These there's 6 bundles. There's different colors. There's yellow, like a teal blue, pink, red, white, and blue, patriotic for the 4th of July. There's the 6 bundles come in this package. It's on Amazon. I don't remember what the name of them at this moment was. I will link them or put the name in the description below. So when I have a 6 cell like this, I only put one of the little markers in there because those are all going to be the same. It's when they get into these separate pots that I have the problems. Hence the pumpkin that turned into the zucchini. If you're not familiar with that story, check out my garden tours. Go ahead and plant the other 2, turn it down, cauliflower seeds real quick so that I can get that tray done. For those of you that aren't familiar with how I store my seeds, this is how I store them, and they're all alphabetical, and I have 3 of them all together. If I don't do that, if I don't have a decent way to store my seeds, I get confused, and I end up, well, sometimes I even do with this method, but it cuts down the chance of me buying 14 packs of cauliflower seeds. Because all I have to do is go to my little box. Inside my big box that says cauliflower, and I can pull those little seeds right out, and I can see what I got in there, and I can go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these seeds in real quick, and I'll be right back with you. So I actually thought about this after I said I'll be right back. I don't know if everybody that watches my channel actually has planted cauliflower seeds before in that, so I'm going to show you how I do it. If you have, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to bore you. I'm just trying to help people that are just starting out. Cauliflower seeds are very tiny. There's 4 of them in there. I usually sow 2 seeds per cell. and then I thin it out because they don't always all germinate. So I just used my fingernail and I lost one. See, they're so tiny. Oh, I see it. I just take and pinch 2 and drop them in there. And pick this other one up off the table. There's one. And with these, I don't, because the seeds are so small, I don't like poke a big hole down in there. I just kind of made a little bit of a shallow in there, like I just rubbed my finger like this. A little bit of a dip. Put the seeds down in there. I don't know if you can see them because they blend in really well with the dirt. And then I just lightly cover them. The rule with planting seeds is, the way that I was taught with planting seeds is that if it's a bigger seed, then you go about the depth that it is long. You know, like, so it's a bean seed, so you want to go about 1 inch deep, because most bean seeds are about, you know, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, depending on what they are. Sometimes a little bit smaller, but you go about 1/2 inch to 1 inch deep. These smaller seeds like broccoli, lettuce, cauliflower, carrots, all of those, you don't want to put much soil over top of them at all, because they won't germinate if you do. So that's just my little tip. I learned the hard way, because I used to like, oh, they have to be down there really deep because they're not going to grow. If they're not, they have to be in dirt. And then couldn't figure out why I didn't get a good germination rate. You know, live and learn. That's why I tell everybody on my channel, if you've been here, you know, that's my motto, is that it's a learning process. I learn every day something new. So I have ignore the mess down there. That's my onions drying. I have broccoli that I need to up pot, and cabbage that I need to up pot. I also am a big advocate for reusing stuff, so that's why I use these cells. Some of these cells I've had for 10 years. They're cheap, they break, they're not made for reuse. That's not what because these are store-bought or bought at farmers markets. They use these cells a lot of times, or wherever, you know. They're not intended to be recycled or reused, I should say. But I do. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to spend a lot of money to grow your garden. Figure out where you can cut your corners if you need to, and do it. Dirt everywhere. So I'm gonna get on and get these other 2, the cabbage and broccoli up potted, and then I'll come back when I'm all finished and show you what I've gotten done. Okay, so I'm all done up potting all of those, and this is what I ended up with. I have 2 cabbage. I do have more cabbage inside. I intentionally did not plant a lot of cabbage this fall. That's usually what I plant in the spring. We don't ferment cabbage, so it stores okay, but there's no reason for us to plant. I think I'll have like 8 cabbage heads, so that's a good amount for a while for us. So and then here's all of the cauliflower. You could go and write the names of all of these on each of these tags, but for me it's just a little bit easier just to color code it. I know that you're going to have other vegetables that you're going to use maybe the same color on, but not in the same family. So that's why I do it the way I do it. And then here are my broccoli. I ended up with 2, 4, 6 that I up-potted, and I started 6 more. Broccoli and cauliflower will freeze. I rice the cauliflower and freeze it, or we'll just freeze it, or sometimes I dehydrate it also. So I wanted to show you real quick the remediation bucket for my soil. So this is like the extra potting soil. I don't know if you can focus this a little bit. I'm in the shade, so there you go. So I had, like, on this tray I had 3 that, you know, that didn't germinate from that batch. So all I do is I take it and I just pour it in there. Nothing fancy. It doesn't have to be any special bucket. It can be a tote. It can be a bin. In fact, we're probably going to move to a tote. It can be a wooden box you build out in your garden area. I do it in the bucket because I keep it in the garage, and then it's a little bit easier for me to access because that's where the majority of my seed starting for right now. My seed starting supplies are in the garage, so that's where I keep it there. But, and then all you do is just let it, oops, that one out, my scoop. Just let it break down. If anything germinates out of, you know, those seeds do end up germinating, it's okay. They'll die down before you need them again. And if they don't, just pluck them out when you go to use the soil again. It's not like it's a weed, so it's typically just the vegetable because that's what you had in there. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and run these inside and get them watered because you should water them after transplanting, especially pretty quickly, because they'll start getting wimpy looking. But they'll spruce right back up. And I'll show you a little bit about my little setup I have inside. It's nothing fabulous, nothing fancy. It's just pretty straightforward. But I'll go ahead and run these inside and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so we're back inside. Thank God for air conditioning is all I can say. It is so humid outside right now. It is also 2:30 in the afternoon, so, and usually I'm not outside doing this sort of thing that late in the afternoon. I usually do it early morning or in the evening. But anyway, so I'll show you a little bit about my setup here. Here's my sliding glass door that goes to the backyard, and it sits right here. It's up pretty much year round. I take it down. Usually I take it down around the holidays, like November, December, to give us more room in here so that because we have family and stuff over. So anyway, so these are the seeds that I started. As you can see, I just wet the tops a little bit on those. But I also, this is what I was talking about by watering from the bottom. I have about a half an inch. Well, I think I had a little bit more than a half an inch in there when I first put them in there. They'll suck the water up from the bottoms of the pots, and it makes the roots stronger on them. You don't have to worry about washing out the seeds, or especially your tomato plants and stuff, of getting water on the leaves for your tomato plants, because it's the same concept as watering from the bottom in the garden. So that's the way I do it. This is just I think it was $30 at Walmart. It's the Fairy Morse brand grow light. I have 4 of them. I usually have one on each shelf if I have plants on there. I'll bring one back out for that shelf. This is again another example. That's about how much I put in there usually, and it'll take them a day or so, and they'll start sucking that all up. And they look kind of puny. They're looking droopy. A lot of them are, but they'll pop back within a couple hours of getting that watering. So it's just a little bit of a shock from transplanting. But I probably shouldn't say this. I'm gonna jinx myself, knocking on wood. I usually have no problem with them popping back up within, like I said, a couple hours. And these are the ones I was talking about earlier. These are my starts that I started about they're probably about 6 weeks old. Shelby's gonna say hi with the bone on the floor. These are about 6 weeks old. I have cabbage, and then I have 2 each of the broccoli and cauliflower there. So we'll have a good crop of the brassicas for the fall. Plus I still have Brussels sprouts that are out there, because those are 100 to 125 day. So those should be coming in in the fall, if I calculated right. I want to show you guys too real quick. I don't know if you remember from the pruning videos I've done for the tomatoes, how I told you I take the suckers and put them in water. See if you can see the roots on that. These are my Romas. These will be going out and being transplanted in the garden. I have Mr. Stripey, these are Brandywine. Oops. So I got 2 more plants there. And let me go the other side here. Gotta avoid the dog. She likes to lay right at my feet when I'm in here. This is Mr. Stripey. And see all the roots? I mean, they do really well. They grow roots really well in the water. The only one that didn't do as well is the black cherry tomato. It had a couple roots on there, and like I've told you before in the past, I experiment, so if it works, it works. If then great, I have free black cherry tomato plants. If not, it's not the end of the world for me. Rex sowing some stuff in the garden also, like the carrots and lettuces. The lettuces I won't be putting out until August, probably mid-August or so, just because of the heat. I don't want them to bolt. I do have an experimental lettuce going actually right now on my deck. So if you watch any of the green stalk updates on there, that's one you'll see it in that one. It's just a little container I got, and just to see how they would do in the heat. And I do have actually a couple lettuces in my green stalks that were heat resistant, so supposed to be, and I'm testing them to see how how they work here, because every climate is different. So it might say it's heat resistant, but if you live someplace that's really, really hot and really, really humid, it may not work for you. But like I always say, guys, just try it. You never know. So anyway, I just wanted to share this with you. Like I said, I've had quite a few people asking me lately, I don't know what to plant. What do you plant? I can't get seeds. Where do I get seeds? The seeds is kind of a sticky situation right now. I would just keep watching. Your box stores probably are not going to get any more seeds in. I know that my Tractor Supply up here by me had some seeds still. I didn't look through them because I don't need them. So I don't know what they had, but they did have some seeds still. And I'm not sure about Lowe's. I haven't been to Lowe's because of everything going on in the world in a while. So I'm not sure what's happening there, or even Walmart. I don't think Walmart had any. Now that I think about it, I did go in there a couple weeks ago, and I don't think that they had any. But check out online. Go to Seed Savers, Exchange. Check out Baker Creek. Check out Haas Tools, Eden Brothers. What are some of the Hudson Valley? There are a lot. M.I. Gardener, which if you're from my home state of Michigan, you gotta support Luke. He also has a YouTube channel, M.I. Gardener. It's a great channel. Has a wealth of information, so you can check him out too. And if you're in even the northern climates, he has a lot of seeds that are geared towards those climates. So really good resource there. But just Google. I mean, you might have to order them online, and some of them don't have everything either. Everything is kind of in short demand with everything going on in the world, and a lot of people have started gardening this year that never would have before. So just be patient, and just keep checking if you're looking for a specific thing, and hopefully eventually it comes back for you. If not, just try something else. Even if it's not something that like you were expecting, just try a different variety of that. You don't have to have an orange carrot. There are so many different colored carrots that are even better than the orange ones sometimes. So just don't be afraid to try different varieties. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to share this with you. And it's been a little bit longer than I intended it to be, but I think that it's important to know that the garden doesn't just exist from April to August. There you have plenty of growing opportunities, and earlier in the year you might have to just make concessions like getting row covering, which if you get it, you'll have it for a while if you take care of it. So it's an investment right now, but it can have a good return. Plus, if you think about the food that you can grow under them, and it saves you from money, and it saves you having to go to the store. It saves you from buying the produce that has who knows what on it. You know what's in your garden, so you know how you've treated it. anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for joining me. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I usually say that in the beginning. I'm so sorry I kind of got into this whole thing. And if you're new to the channel, give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you like the videos. That way you'll get more, you'll be able to see all of our videos that we have. We are a fairly new channel, so I don't have tons of videos out there. It is my intent to change that. Want to share as much as I can with people. I've been gardening for a long time. I just haven't been making YouTube content. So if you're not new to the channel, thanks for coming back, guys. We really appreciate your support. The one thing that you guys can do, if you're, whether you're new or whether you've been with us for a while, whether we know you in person, whether you're a friend that we've met through YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, is to share our videos. That helps our channel grow. It also helps us be able to get information out to people that are in the same situation as we are, in a suburban setting or urban setting, that are trying to produce as much food as they can for themselves. That's the biggest way, the best way that you can help our channel, and we really appreciate that. So I hope you guys have a great day. Stay cool or warm, whichever the situation is for you, and I will catch you in the next video. Hey guys, I wanted to show you, this is day 2 for the fall, with the plant in the fall video I filmed yesterday. So I just want to show you real quick how quickly those up potted cabbages and stuff that I did yesterday sprung back. Look at, see, this one was really one of the really droopy ones I showed you, and see, they're all fine. I just wanted to share that with you so that you knew. And even these littler ones that were kind of sad, that some of them, a couple of them got moved around, but not many of those. But I just kind of wanted to show you. I just kind of wanted to show you that it takes, like I said in the video, and that was 2 hours after I shot that video yesterday. I think that I noticed that they were standing back up and proud and not droopy and sad. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you also.